The rain was heavy that morning, hammering against the bus windows as if the sky itself wanted to split open. I remember clutching the strap of my backpack tight, my knuckles white, my chest tight with unease. My younger sister Lily sat beside me, swinging her legs carelessly like this was just another ride. She leaned her head against the fogged glass and sighed. "I hope Dad brings me ice cream when we get home," she muttered lazily. I swallowed hard, staring at her. Every word she said was laced with certainty, like she knew she was the favored one, the chosen one. And she wasn't wrong. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video. The bus rattled, the driver fighting with the wheel as the storm grew violent. My body stiffened as I felt the lurch. Metal screeched against asphalt. Tires slid across the wet road. The screams rose before I could even react. The bus tipped once, then twice, before slamming sideways into the guardrail. Windows shattered, glass exploded like hail, and the world spun into chaos. When the crash settled, there was a silence so deep it made my ears ring. Then came the sobs, the moans, the panicked cries. I tried to move, but my leg was pinned under twisted metal, my breath shallow, blood soaking through my jeans. "Dad!" Lily's voice pierced through the wreckage, sharp and trembling. "Dad, we're here!" Through the broken bus door, I saw him, my father, drenched from the storm, sprinting toward us. For a moment, my heart soared. He was here. He would help. He would pull us both out. He climbed inside the wreck, his hands trembling but strong, eyes darting around the carnage until they locked on Lily. She was trapped too, but less severely, just a scrape on her arm and her seatbelt caught. "Dad!" I gasped, reaching toward him. My fingers shook as I tried to wave him over. "Please, I can't move. I need help. My leg. Dad, please." He looked at me once, just once. His face hardened into something I'll never forget, a mask of contempt. He stepped over the glass toward Lily instead. "You first," he said firmly, his voice strangely calm in the storm. "You're worth something." "Dad!" I choked, blood rising in my throat. His hands tore at Lily's seatbelt, yanking her free while I cried out in agony. The metal dug deeper into my leg as I twisted, desperate to be noticed, to be saved. But his back was to me. "Dad, please, please, don't leave me here." My screams echoed through the wreck. He pulled Lily out, cradling her against his chest, shielding her from the rain as though she were made of glass. She clung to him, looking over his shoulder at me. And then she laughed. A small, cruel laugh, as if watching me trapped there bleeding was some sick form of entertainment. "Don't waste your time, Dad," she whispered against his neck. "She's always been useless." He nodded, and in that moment I felt my entire body freeze, not from the blood loss, not from the rain that soaked me to the bone, but from the cold truth that my father had chosen who deserved to live. I screamed until my voice broke, until my throat bled with the sound. He didn't look back. He carried Lily away from the wreckage like a prize, leaving me behind under steel and glass. The sirens came minutes later. Red and blue lights flashed through the rain as rescuers stormed the scene. A firefighter crouched low to me, his voice urgent. "Stay with me! We've got you! You're going to make it!" But all I could whisper, over and over, as they cut the metal away from my body, was, "He left me. My own father left me." And in that moment, as the oxygen mask pressed to my face, a vow burned into my chest stronger than any wound. If they thought I would crawl away quietly, broken and discarded, they had no idea what I was capable of. The hospital smelled of antiseptic and steel. The lights were too bright, buzzing above me as I drifted in and out of consciousness. My leg was in a brace, my arms covered in cuts, my ribs taped tight. Every movement was agony, but none of it compared to the burn in my chest when I remembered the truth. He left me. He saved her. The doctors told me I was lucky to be alive. I didn't feel lucky. I felt hollow, emptied out, like my father's choice had cut something deeper than the wreckage ever could. 3 days passed before they came. The door creaked open, and there he was, my father, standing tall and dry now, his shirt crisp, his face indifferent. Lily was behind him, bandaged lightly, her arm in a sling, but her smile smug, like this had all been nothing more than a test she passed, and I failed. "Look who's still clinging on," he said, his tone flat. "Doctors really waste their time, don't they?" My throat tightened, words fighting to climb out. You left me. I was bleeding, screaming for you, and you walked away." He didn't flinch. He didn't stammer or apologize. He leaned closer, his breath sharp with coffee, his voice low enough only I could hear. "You were never meant to survive. You were born weak. That crash just showed the world what I already knew." Lily giggled behind him. "She's just mad because you chose me first, like always." The world spun. My pulse raced, fury heating every vein in my body. "I was your child too," I spat, my voice cracking. He straightened, his jaw set. "No, you're just... Wait, something life dumped on us. You should be grateful Lily's worth made me move at all." He turned on his heel, guiding her out as if she were royalty. They didn't stay long. They didn't bring flowers. They didn't even look back. That night, as the monitors beeped beside me and the pain clawed through my bones, I cried so hard my pillow was soaked, not from weakness, not anymore. From rage, from clarity. The crash hadn't destroyed me. It had revealed the truth. My parents didn't just neglect me, they wanted me gone. And worse, they wanted me to accept it quietly. But I wouldn't. I couldn't. Rehabilitation was brutal. Every step felt like walking on fire. Nurses encouraged me, but when visiting hours came, my bed was empty. No family, no calls. No one sat with me while I learned to walk again. Lily was home getting ice cream, trips, gifts, praise. I was limping across a linoleum floor, fueled only by spite. Months crawled by. I returned home to a house that didn't feel like home. My room had been half emptied, boxes stacked in the corner. My father grunted when I asked why. "Lily needs more space," he said, without a flicker of guilt. "You don't need much. You never did." My hand shook around the doorknob. My lungs burned like they had the day of the crash. And deep inside me, something dark settled. I couldn't change their love for her. I couldn't erase what they did, but I could decide what happened next. The plan didn't come overnight. It was slow, like a wound that scabs and festers until you know it'll scar. I began watching, listening, noticing what they relied on, what they ignored, what they never thought I could take from them. They thought I was broken, crawling behind them like a forgotten dog. That blindness became my weapon. They had stripped me of worth in their eyes, but I was about to show them how dangerous someone worthless could be. And as I lay awake one night staring at the cracked ceiling, the vow that first burned inside me at the crash returned. Hotter, sharper. I would not scream for them again. This time, they would scream for me. The house was quiet the night it happened, but not silent. The tick of the clock on the kitchen wall echoed, each second stabbing like a reminder of time wasted, time stolen. My parents were asleep upstairs, Lily's room glowing faintly from the fairy lights strung across her walls, her little princess palace. For months I had been silent, obedient, walking with my head low, letting them think I was beaten. But every bruise, every scar, every insult carved itself into me like fuel waiting for fire, and fire always finds a way to spread. My revenge wasn't about humiliating them in front of others. That would be too easy, too shallow. No, I wanted them to feel what I had felt. Abandoned, helpless, stripped of safety where they thought it would always be theirs. I had been watching, planning, waiting. My father had built that shed out back himself, his pride and joy. Tools, machines, everything he believed made him a man. He polished his wrenches more than he ever looked at me. My mother's garden bloomed with flowers she pruned like her reputation, carefully, viciously, cutting away what didn't fit her vision. Lily's dolls, her perfumes, her glittering dresses, all of it sat in closets, untouched by pain, protected from the world like treasure. That night, I made sure none of it would be safe again. I started in the shed. Every tool, every machine, every reminder of his strength. I dismantled, scattered, ruined. I didn't burn it. Fire is too quick. I wanted it gutted, hollow, like me when he left me under the bus. I smashed the handles, poured oil across the wood, snapped wires. By the time I was done, the heart of his pride was a carcass. Next, the garden. I ripped the flowers from their roots, tore them apart with my bare hands until dirt caked my fingers and my nails broke. My lungs burned, but I didn't stop. Roses, lilies, tulips, petals scattered like ashes. I salted the soil from the kitchen, a handful at a time, knowing nothing would grow there again. The place she admired most now mirrored the barrenness she'd sown inside me. And then Lily. I didn't touch her body. That would make me like them. Instead, I chose something deeper. I slipped into her room and gathered everything she owned that sparkled. Her dolls, her expensive perfume bottles, her golden hairbrush, the dresses my parents had spent thousands on. I carried them out, one by one, into the rain-soaked yard. I laid them down in the mud, pressing each into the filth until silk became sludge, perfume bottles shattered like glass bones, and the dolls she loved looked like corpses drowning in dirt. I didn't destroy them with fire. I drowned them in the same cold earth where I had once been left bleeding. By the time the house stirred, I was already inside, sitting at the kitchen table, my hands filthy, my body trembling, my chest rising and falling with something that wasn't weakness. It was power. My father stormed out first, roaring when he saw his shed. My mother's scream pierced the night when she saw the dead garden. And Lily? She fell to her knees in the mud, shrieking, clawing at her ruined dresses, her ruined dolls, sobbing like the child she had always been protected to be. They turned to me, my father's face twisted red. "What have you done?" I stood. My voice didn't shake, my body didn't bend. "I did what you taught me. You left me under that bus. You let me bleed. You showed me that worth is chosen. So I chose. I chose to erase everything you value, the same way you tried to erase me." My mother lunged, but I stepped back. My eyes locked with hers. "Now you know what it feels like to lose the things that mattered most. Except I'm not things. I'm flesh. I'm blood. I'm your child. And you threw me away." They froze. For the first time in my life, they had nothing to say. No insult, no sneer, no laugh. Just silence. I left them there in the wreckage, the same way they left me under twisted metal and glass. Except they weren't bleeding, they weren't broken, they were empty, and I had never felt more whole. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.